Hello, I wanted to go ahead and go over my third learning teaching interaction. The first thing I want to talk about is the purpose of a family life education evaluation. The purpose of this, there's a few different purposes. Number one, it's a process for gathering information to make the program stronger. It also provides vital data about what parts of the program work and what doesn't. It can provide information about how to match your target audience, and program evaluation should be looked at as our friend. I know sometimes we look at these assessments and we just want all happy faces and stars and circles and tens, and sometimes we are a little worried that we're not going to have a perfect assessment. But that's when we should actually be the happiest, because if somebody gives us a little honest critique, it's going to help us to learn and to better our next presentations. In my workshop, I had passed out an assessment for everyone to fill out. And at the end, I loved reading their comments. In my workshop, I'd had a quantitative questions, which were numbers to be analyzed, and then qualitative data, which were, of course, the open-ended response to questions. So for assessing my family life education program, I found the qualitative data to be a little bit more helpful. I liked being able to have their answers expanded on, and I felt that I had better received their feedback when they were not limited to just circling a yes or no or a scale from 1 to 10, but they were able to leave comments and really express why they liked something I did or what they felt that maybe I could have a little bit of room for improvement on. It was really, I do look at that as my friend, because that first one really helped me to better fine-tune my second workshop. So I appreciated it a lot. Next thing I want to talk about is ethics and family life education. There's a few different approaches. The principles approach is the first one. And the principles approach describe an ideal level of practice that is defined through a set of specific principles that reflect important professional values. So this approach provides the advantage of a code of ethics through a clear description of expectations and aspirations for professional conduct. And then, of course, the relational ethics. This one is critical to working with individuals and families. I feel like it's the most important one, actually, especially where our workshops are concerned. The principle ethics, they're standing for the specific ethical dilemmas and guides that practice first and foremost towards the development of caring and respectful relationships with all family members. The relational ethics is what we focus most on, I think, in our workshops. I know as educators, we need to teach the information, and then we really need to make sure that that information is related to that audience. And that's why we do the target audience. We really find out which topic can relate to which audience members, and then really try to fine tune it to make sure that that's what they're going to be needing to hear. And we need to just make sure it's relatable to everybody. The third one is the virtues ethics. The virtues ethics by Doherty is focused on the purpose of the family life educator and their moral competence, which is, of course, very important, moral competence. There's three different sections of that. There's caring, practical wisdom, and hope and optimism. So the caring part of it is the disposition to support the well-being of family members as the decision makers in their own lives. Of course, as educators, when we're teaching this, we need to let the participants know that this is their life. They have the power to make the decisions in their own lives, to change any way they want. And we're there just to have that caring and loving attitude to help guide them. The next one is prudence or practical wisdom, the ability to understand competing needs in complex situations and make decisions based on reflection and consultations with peers. I know as educators, it's our responsibility is to understand the needs of our audience and to help them see that even during tough situations, they can make those really hard decisions. They can make those based on reflection and by talking with peers. I know at the end of both of my workshops, we had role play, and they were able to role play kind of the teachings that they had learned throughout it. And just that time with that peer interaction really helped them to understand what we had been taught. They understand the morals, the ethics, their view on the communication, their view on what they want for their family. And it was really great to watch the role play as they learned from each other and just really solidified everything that they had listened to me and learned through the workshop. The third one is hope and optimism. The disposition to focus on the strengths and positive potential of family members and other individuals and to maintain a positive attitude in the face of adversity. As an educator, it's our job to focus on the strengths and the positive potential of family members and others individuals and to stay positive in troubled times. So, meaning sometimes when we're teaching as teachers, as educators, sometimes the statistics and the facts, they're not all positive, they're not all happy, they're not all rays of sunshine. Sometimes they are hard facts to learn, sometimes they are negative things. But what we need to do is we just need to make sure that we don't have the doom and gloom effect, that we offer hope in a positive way to improve the troubled situation. So we can go ahead and state what we have and state the facts, but then offer some hope and optimism at the end, help them set goals and to realize that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The boundaries of family life education. Doherty's boundaries between parent-family education and family therapy talked about the different levels of family involvement. The first level that I read said minimum emphasis on family interactions with parents are institutional centered, not family centered. Families are not regarded as an important area of focus, but parents are dealt with for practical or legal reasons. Really, I couldn't believe what I was reading. I was like, wow, family, it's institutional, institution-centered, not family-centered. And that was when we were speaking about families. And that really shocked me. And I didn't really relate well to his article or to that reading. When I went on to read the Receptionalizing the Domain and Boundaries of Family Life Education from Meyer Wall, he had 3 sections, talked about family life education, family therapy, and family case management. So I kind of wanted to focus on the family life education, and he talked about the why, the purpose and goals of working with families to increase knowledge and develop skills so families may build on their strengths to function at optimal levels. In my workshop, that's what I focused on, open communication and loving and being kind and the importance of building those relationships and being able to communicate openly and lovingly. And if we couldn't do that now, then to learn and grow from each other and have the desire to set the goals so we could do that in the future because it is important. So I really felt strongly that I liked that reading of Meyer Wall a little bit better. And I just really enjoyed this section of reading, and I hope that you did too. Thank you.